Welcome back, everyone.
Hola.
This is episode 111 of the Jiu-Jitsu Dummies podcast. We are brought to you by Black Belt Digital Marketing. Anything you need to build your business on or offline, website design, Google Ads, graphic design, printing, we can help. Check us out at Black Belt Digital Marketing on Instagram or our website, bbdigitalmarketing.com.
That's right.
You can request a free review of your online presence. That's kind of like the entry to our flagship program. We'll tell you where all the bodies are buried, what you're doing right, what you're doing wrong, and how we can help. All right, so again, check it out, bbdigitalmarketing.com. My name is Milton Campus. I'm a brown belt, training out of South Florida. We got Bo behind the camera.
Yo.
Look who decided to join us.
Hey, ow.
Toothache?
Yeah.
What happened?
Mr. Sword
I had a cracked tooth, and then it got infected, so I had to have like surgery on Saturday. So
I don't want to jinx myself, but it happens in threes. You got Bo with his new toofuses. You got a cracked tooth,
dude. It was crazy. I was.
What do you say?
I don't want it to happen to me next.
No, man. I don't know. I want you to crack 10,000 followers. How about that?
Don't be opening beer bottles. Don't be opening beer bottles with your teeth.
Yeah,
and you'll be fine.
It's all
definitely
good.
Don't do that.
It's all good though. I'm healing.
All right, guys. Everybody, welcome. Don't forget to like, comment, share, click the subscribe button on YouTube. We really appreciate the support. Joining us today is Gabriel Sousa.
There it is.
Sosa?
There it is.
Sosa. We're super excited. Black belt, Gabriel Sousa. Everybody,
right.
I think, definitely the world is
what are you talking
starting
about?
to recognize him post ADCC.
Yeah.
Post Mikey Musumeci.
Yeah, big
submission.
victories.
Some big victories.
Deep runs.
I think this has been his this has been his year, right? I mean, it's been a big year for him.
Yeah, and if you've been a gi fan, he's been pretty hot for a while.
He's been killing it on the
gi side.
Yeah,
IBJJF scene.
Yeah,
Heroes.
I mean, if you look at his, I always look at BJJ Heroes.
Yeah,
it's just like first place, second place, first place. It's just
he's up there.
He's just like a run. So let's do a quick few shout outs and then we'll get him in here. Thank you to our friends over at Flow and Roll. Sean,
what up, Sean?
Hands down, the best custom gi and no gi gear in the business. I'm just going to say, I know Sean listened. Sean, I'm wearing this big, bright green shirt because I'm out of shirts that fit me.
What happened, bro?
I need a double X now, all the working out and the eating.
Yeah, I got you.
So
double
I need some double X. I love black, Sean. I definitely always want to rep for you on the show, and I'm sick of wearing the Jiu-Jitsu Dummies logo tee. So if you got anything you want to send our way, you know the place, you know the address. Hands down, the best custom gi and no gi gear in the business. Don't believe us? Visit them on Instagram at flow_n_roll. Check out all the custom designs they have. I mean, it's literally now like academies across the country. People are really starting to recognize the pre-order program. We did it for the gi, for the no gi kit that we're doing for the show, for the Peace Love Jiu-Jitsu set.
It's coming out.
So it's very cool. I got got to order the extras that I wanted, but the pre-order paid for the majority of what it would have cost me. It was a couple $100. I ordered more. I paid a couple $100 for the stuff. Like, I had enough money to cover what we needed, like the minimum, which was kind of cool. I'm like, oh, this is great.
It works.
So we ordered some extra stuff though, so that we have some winners that are going to get some stuff, and then I got stuff. Make sure that I got some extra stuff for us.
It's a proven system.
If you don't know what we're talking about, go check out Flow and Roll, flowandroll.com. Again, at flow_n_roll. Reach out, send them a message. It's a flowandroll@gmail.com if you want to send them an email, but talk to them about or ask for an explanation about the pre-order program. It's a great way if you're a gym owner to get everything that you need. Low bar of entry. You won't have a lot of out-of-pocket. He'll actually wind up sending your stuff to your students or anybody that orders, and then you get your stuff that you need to keep in stock for the gym. Very little out-of-pocket. It's a great way of doing this. And for those of you who just want to get onto the website and order a T-shirt or get a gi or even a belt,
that's right.
They do embroidered belts as well. Flowandroll.com. You get 20% off with code JJD.
You sure do.
Okay. BJJ box. I checked the mail on the way down. We didn't get a box yet. I sent Tony a message, hoping to have a new box on the next show.
Box?
Excuse me.
What's in the box?
We'll hopefully have a new box on the next episode, and we'll get to do an unboxing. So the BJJ box is Jiu-Jitsu's favorite monthly subscription box. It's delivered to your door filled with premium Jiu-Jitsu and grappling apparel, equipment, supplements, supplies, snacks, and more. They find the best products. Actually, Sean's supposed to be doing a rash guard with them.
Really?
For their rash guard, yeah.
That's cool.
They've been talking. I think it's finalized. I'm not sure exactly when it's going to
So
happen.
that means that Flow and Roll is the best product?
Flow and Roll is going to be in the BJJ box soon.
That's BJJ math, everybody.
And I'm happy to say, I mean, they probably knew of each other, but, because of the show and they both sponsor, I've always said, hey, you guys got to talk.
Mm-hmm.
So each box includes 4 to 7 items that you're going to love. So, it could be the VIP box has like a T-shirt. We've gotten beef jerky. We've gotten sports drinks.
Foot rollers.
We've gotten foot rollers.
Kinesiology tape.
We've got Oh, you know how to say. You've been practicing.
I've been practicing.
You could get you'll get an email with there might be a program
code,
like a 15% off of an instructional
masterclass or
some type
like
of
that.
masterclass, right? Something related to fitness. So lots of cool stuff. The box is always going to be cheaper than the combined total of all the products, right? So you're always going to be getting a lot of value for your subscription. Typically, like we get the VIP, what's called the VIP box, but they have other boxes you can get again, like quarterly with the rash guard, or so you can kind of mix and match it.
There's tiers.
So look, go check them out. TheBJJBox.com. Get $10 off your first order with
code JJD 10.
There you go. And again, hopefully we'll have a new box next week. Shout out to Neutral Zone CBD. No matter if your aches and pains are coming from lifting weights at the gym, rolling on the mats, or just the daily grind of life, Neutral Zone has a product for you. Find your Neutral Zone by finding the best products for your pain wellness so you can continue your active lifestyle.
That's right.
NeutralZoneCBD.com is the place. Code JJD for 25% off. Okay?
Quarter?
25% off. That's a lot.
That's like a hole. You cut
Bro,
it.
that's a lot. That's a lot.
All right, guys. Let's get
Gabriel
Sousa in here.
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
I'm excited.
All right, brother.
All right. Hey.
And welcome, Gabriel. How you doing? Is it Gabriel? Gabriel? How do you like to be? How do you say it?
If I speak with a Brazilian or Latino, I say Gabriel.
Okay, I'm used to saying it. I think I just did a hybrid of it.
Yeah, Americans sometimes they have a hard time, so I think Gabe or Gabriel.
I say Gabriel is the way that I would normally say it. Sounds good. The Puerto Rican in me wants to say Gabriel.
Well, you got to remember he's in Apex, North Carolina.
Yeah, they just call you Gabe.
Yeah.
Well, welcome to the show. Thank you for doing this. We appreciate you coming on. I know we wanted to have you on for a little bit. I know one of our sponsors is one of your sponsors, Neutral Zone. So we had been talking about you. I brought you up. He's like, "Oh yeah, we're working with him," and it was just like it was just a natural to have you on. So again, thank you for doing this.
I was more like, holy smokes, that dude has such an impressive performance at ADCC. And he's too. Neutral Zone. Yeah. Let's go. I want to talk to this guy.
So let's start from the beginning. We're going to go right back to the beginning. Tell us how you found jiu-jitsu. Give us the history, and we'll get the conversation going from there.
Yeah.
Cool. So I started jiu-jitsu after my brother. Before jiu-jitsu, I was always very athletic, right? In Brazil, I was part of a social project, athleticism, like run, jumping, and then stuff like that. Mm-hmm. And then after that, I got into soccer. Most of Brazilians probably have done soccer in their life, so I tried it out. Was never good at it, but I tried my best. And I tried capoeira as well. Capoeira was the last sport before I found jiu-jitsu. So what happened was my brother started training a social project. After 3 months of training, he invited me to go over to check it out, the training. Maybe I would like it or not. Since I was always very active, right, imperative, I wouldn't stop. I was super energetic and always trying to find different ways to have fun in a healthy way. And he brought me there one time, and then I stopped going. I started a social project in Fortaleza, Brazil. It's my hometown. And that's pretty much it. It was 2009, and I was about to turn 13 years old.
Okay.
Wow.
Now, what brought you to the U.S.? Tell us about that journey.
Yes, okay. So I grew up, right, in jiu-jitsu, and then when I was turning 15, I think I was already decided that I want to leave from jiu-jitsu, right? because just because of the lifestyle. One time, the first time I had the chance to fly in an airplane, right, get an airplane and go somewhere else, was from Fortaleza to São Paulo. It was kind of like 4 hours flight, and then I was very impressed. I was just happy to be doing that. Like, wow, jiu-jitsu took me from my city, from my hometown, to another city 4 hours away from my home. And I think that trip was very important for me because I was the beginning of everything. And then that's why I'm like, yes, I definitely want to be doing that for the rest of my life. Like, imagine, like, every month, I can do 2-3 competitions in different states, maybe in different countries one day, and just fly and then be able to compete, get paid, and then do seminars and get famous throughout the sport. I know get famous was never the intention, but it ended up happening, especially in a high-level athlete. And that's why I'm like, yes, I want to do that. So I tried first to go to Europeans, but I couldn't succeed when I was a blue belt, right? And then I decided, all right, I'm going to try my visa and go to USA. The first time I came to USA, I was a blue belt, 18 years old, and I had no international travel, no English at all. I couldn't say water or anything. I couldn't order anything.
Wow.
I couldn't introduce myself. That was like crazy, right? But I'm like, yeah, I have to do it. It's part of the journey. It's part of the dream. I'm gonna do it. In Brazil, I had a tough time. Like, I come from a poor family. My parents has 7 kids in total, and they never had money to be able to pay any competition for me, right? No registration. They never put any money down. I know not because they didn't want it, but they didn't have no money.
Yeah.
Right. So I realized that, like, in Brazil, it was hard to make a living from it since the cash price was super low. Even was a blue belt, still, even black belts doesn't get paid well, like in the weight class or whatever. So I was like, I need to start move on from this, and I need to start living from jiu-jitsu if I really want to keep it. And then I think the best way would be moving to US, find a job with jiu-jitsu, and then go from there on. So
What was it? Jiu-jitsu was, at that time, was more popular here than it was there, right? It wasn't necessarily as recognized, or what would be the word? Like, people looked at it like those guys are thugs, right? Like, yes. A lot, because they hear about the Gracies and the fights and the academy storming and stuff like that, right? So it was more not respected. It was more respected here at that time, correct?
I wouldn't say more respected, but like in the USA, you can make a good living from jiu-jitsu. Okay. It's different. In Brazil, it's hard to make a living only from jiu-jitsu. I'm not saying that right now it's way easier because we have so much resource, right? I think the best thing what Brazilians is bringing to academies in Brazil is like the methodology, the way they work in the USA. They are very professional, like with the way they organize the academy, keeping everything, playing everything, looking great. So it's like that professionalism is start here in the USA. So that's why it's like you can make a good money out of jiu-jitsu. Okay. You can have your own school and make money. Here you get paid way better to compete. And also the quality the quality of your life here is better. Like with the jiu-jitsu, the info was in Brazil. Most of the people that I knew that had gyms back then in Brazil, they would have like a side job to be able to pay like the expenses and to survive, right? Wow. But now a lot of academies, especially in São Paulo, here in the south as well, a lot of academies is getting like in another level as far as professionalism, like great academy, good looking, they spend a lot of money, like, and they also they learn the way how to work with, like to make the business. You know what I mean? Like jiu-jitsu is a great art, but if you don't know how to make the business, you're probably not going to be able to make money of it, right? And back in then, when I started competing, even to states close to my house, I was always doing rifles, right? I would get like 45 rifles and then try to sell it for however I could, just to be able to pay tournament expenses as far as like registration or flights, anything.
Saying rifles like a gun rifle?
Raffles.
Raffles.
Raffles. I'm sorry.
It's okay. I know,
rifles? You selling rifles?
No, when he went like this, I knew he meant raffles. Yeah.
Exactly. Yes, and it's very normal for Brazilians who live. Most of the Brazilians who live in Brazil who doesn't have money, like doesn't come from a family that has money.
Yeah, it's a hustle.
It's a hustle. It's a way to hustle. And there are a lot of people around you. Maybe they don't have like $100, let's say, to give you, but if like 50 people give you $5, you made a good money and gonna be able to compete. So like I had to do that to compete in the national tournaments when I stayed like 8 hours away from my home. Imagine to come to Worlds, Europeans, Pan Ams, and I knew that like maybe on the way I wouldn't say give up, but I had to choose like go find a regular job, full-time job, and make money to survive, or not be able like or move out of Brazil. That's what I did, and then find a job. So I came for the first time. And then everybody was very impressed. Like I had to do a lot of rifles. I sell everything that I had to be able to come to USA. I was very lucky that I met a person throughout Facebook, right? So me and 4 more friends, we made a social project. We created a social project on the hood that I grew up, on the favela that I grew up, right? And somehow this person, this American person, she found our social project. So she started helping us out. Like she would send money for the kids to compete. She would send money for the kids to buy t-shirts with the logos, and it's those kind of stuff to support the social project. And then when I told her that I was planning to come to USA to compete at IBJJF Worlds, she was very excited. And she was like, oh, I'm going to help you out however I can. So I think I tell everybody she was kind of like an angel on my life. The only thing I paid to come for the first time was my visa and my passport. She pretty much paid my registration, my flight. She paid my hotel and everything. But like the craziest part is like, it's not everybody who would have like been able to do what I did. I just like, that's going to be my own way out. So I never met this person in my life before I come to USA. We would text each other like because of the social project. She's like, no, I'm going to help you out. Don't worry. I have someone to pick you up on the airport. I'm going to put you in the hotel and then you're going to have training and everything. I'm like, right, let's do it. She sent my ticket.
That's an angel.
It was crazy. I told my family like, all right, I'm going to USA to 3 days. Everybody look at me like, what are you talking about? I'm going to fight IBJJF Worlds. They're like, all right, have a good trip. Go get it. But their reaction was the most fun part for me because they're like, how you going to afford to go to California? You know what I mean? And I just don't know how you're going to get it. And I didn't even try to explain the situation because they would stop me like, no, you're not going because you don't know who is this person.
Might never come back.
Yeah, I told them like, don't worry, I have a sponsor. They're going to pay everything. And that's it. They're like, all right, good. Going good. And then I made to the finals. I got second place. And then there was the...
What age was that?
2015. 2015, I was 18 years old.
18, okay.
Blue belt, yes.
Adult, right?
And how old are you now?
I'm 26. Just turned 26. So that was like the thing that changed everything in my life. So I came back, my family. So when you turn 18 in Brazil, that's when you usually finish high school and then go find a job, right? And since I come from a poor family, it's already routine. It's already like, as soon as you finish high school, you go find a job and they help you in the house and then we go on from here. I'm like, all right, cool. And then like, I had the pressure of my family, like, you need to find a job. It's about time. It was like June. You've been already 6 months without making money, without working, without helping out in the house. There was like a lot of pressure. So whenever I came to USA and then I placed second at the IBJJF Worlds, that's when my family started like believing more. Like, oh, he can actually make it happen through jiu-jitsu. So I went back to Brazil. I spent 9 more months, right? I went back to Brazil in June, July. And then the next year at PANS, I came and I won PANS as a purple belt. Like 3 months as a purple belt. Fresh purple belt, won PANS. And then went back to Brazil. And then I talked to the head coach, our head coach, Marcel Zahardiola, the founder of ZR Team. And I told him, like, look, I don't want to keep going back and forth from USA, Europe, or anything because I don't have money. Maybe one day I won't be able to afford, and I don't want this to happen. And then our visas usually, every time you come to US, you can spend 6 months. I told him, like, you think you can find me somewhere to stay? And maybe, I don't know. I find whenever I'm there, if I have a place to sleep, it's fine. I'm going to make my way through. And he's like, yeah, I have his nephew live in Cali. Then he make the connection, and then I flew to Cali. And then for the first 6 months I was living in the USA, I was living on the mats. It's like, it's very normal. It's very common in Brazil But like I was leaving a mat in academy very clean, so it's like it was much easier for me. You know what I mean? I had of course my mattress, but like that was easy. I would do it again. For me, when I tell people, they're like, "Oh, you live in the mat? You didn't have nothing, no stove, nothing to cook." I'm like, no, it's normal for me. It's like it's nothing crazy, you know, because I also like pursuing my dream. That was the beginning of the dream, and I knew I had to go through some hard time, like everybody does when you start a new business, when you start a new journey in your life. So it's like it's just part of it. And I'm like, yes, I'm enjoying it. And I was always like, for the first 2 years, I was going back and forth to USA and Brazil, just because the visa, I didn't have money to apply the athlete visa, and they applied for the athlete visa, and I live in California all the way to 2019, December of 2019, and then I decided to now take a break from teaching. So I went back to Brazil, I went to Europe, and I traveled for a little bit, teach for the Europeans, and I was gonna come back to USA. I came back to USA for Pan Am's 2020. COVID hit, shut down the country in 3 days. I'm like, all right, see you guys. I'm going to Brazil. Peace. So I went back to Brazil, spent 7 months, and then meanwhile, Diego Ramalho is like a best friend of mine. We used to live together in California. So when he got in Cali, he was already a black belt. I was a purple belt. We lived together. We was roommates for most of the times we live in Cali. And he's told me like, look, California is not looking good right now. It's right at the beginning of the pandemic. Everything's going crazy out here. I got an opportunity to go to North Carolina. I'm heading out there. So he came to North Carolina. So he was always inviting me to come over, like, oh, come check it out. Everything here is totally different from California as far as traffic, as far as
everything.
He's like, it's for us.
Two different worlds, man.
Yeah.
Exactly. And then he's like, for us, here looks much better as far as business and life in general. For us here is gonna be much better, since I don't like a crowd cities. I don't really like it.
Yeah.
So like I'm like, yeah, California for me I was done with Cali. So that's when he came to North Carolina, and then 6 months later I came. But my idea was not to stay. I just came here to visit him, his students, that he was doing a great job out here. And then eventually the opportunity to open up my own academy came, and then probably like 9 months later I was in North Carolina. I opened up my gym. It's been a year and a half. Great journey. I can't complain. Met so much like great people. I'm so grateful for my students. They are my family, you know. Since all of my blood flame is in Brazil, like my parents, siblings, everybody in Brazil, I feel like having them with me is very important, especially throughout like competition, win, lose, loss. It's like it's very important. And I'm so glad that like the community that we build out here, the environment is like it's sustainable, and also is like supportive to each other.
What does your family say now? You know, you went from, hey, you can't even help with the bills, or you can't pay your own way, to now. What do they say? What's their feedback?
I mean, for me, it's kind of it's funny, but like they tell me that like I'm one of the inspiration for them, because they saw where I came from and where I am right now, and I'm so happy that jiu-jitsu not just helped me like my life financially, and also I'm able to provide to my family. You know, like throughout COVID, I was able to help my family. That was like priceless for me. I'm like, I came from not being able to help you out in the house, and now I'm able to support you and I help you guys out. And I have like six siblings. I have 8 nieces and nephews, like a huge family. Wow. Being able to help them out with jiu-jitsu, for sure, they are like very grateful for that.
What's the age range? Where do you fall in the age range? Are you older? Baby. Or you're the baby?
The baby brother.
You're the baby, huh?
Yeah,
wow.
Yeah. It's more funny. Like they tell me like I'm an inspiration for them. I have achieved so much in a short period of time, and then it's like it's good to hear from them. You know, since like I'm the baby, 26. Everybody else is older than me, 2, 3, 4 years. So it's like it's very good.
Does anybody else doing jiu-jitsu?
Yes, I have a brother. He's in London right now. He's in Europe. And we're planning for him to come to USA around September, October. He's a black belt as well. My older brother, he is a purple belt in jiu-jitsu, but like life in Brazil is super tough. as far as like, especially being a personal trainer, like the work schedule is super crazy. So you're gonna wake up probably 5 a.m. and go to sleep midnight, and then every single day, and then you have Sunday to rest, and that's it. And then life goes on. So it's like he kind of stopped. We was just talking about it for him to come back and then move on, like get his brown belt and eventually his black belt, because he used to love it as well. He was the one who introduced me to jiu-jitsu. So like he loves it. He was like the person that support me the most as soon as they start competing, like as far as like taking me to place to talk with the sponsors, because I was just a kid, right? I had to have responsible for me. So like my older brother was like pretty much, he had like the father responsibility with me. And then every time he see videos of me fighting, he always message me like, man, I want to get back at it. I'm like, just find the time, do it. Do it.
Yeah, you could probably come here and work half as hard and make twice as much.
Probably, right?
Right.
Why is he in London? What brought him to London? Was it jiu-jitsu?
That was the other one. He's talking about the one that's still in Brazil.
Oh.
Yeah. Okay. So the one in Brazil, that's definitely one of the plans that I have, since he's into CrossFit world. He has like some CrossFit training levels as well, like 2 levels of CrossFit. I think bringing him here, it's gonna be easy to find him like a job, as far like we can open up like a business together. He's like very capable. He just needs to learn the language, which is about 3 to 6 months. He's good to go to teach. Yeah. But my brother who was in London, the first site was like, Brazil is hard as well. And then he was in the same world as personal trainer and track running and stuff like that. And he was having like a miserable life. Like he wasn't enjoying life at all. And I told him, look, I can help you out, but I can't bring you to USA right now because you don't have visa. And the visa right now in Brazil is so many people for so small amount of like space to get your interview. So it's like so many people for not many interviews during the days, right? So I think the next interview, if you try to schedule today, it might be like January 2024. So like crazy.
Wow.
Yes. And I told him like, look, I can help you out to go to Europe. And then from there, you walk with your own legs, you make it happen. And then whenever the visa is open, you come here. And he's like, all right, cool. So he went to Paris first, and then now he's in London. It's been 3 months. The idea was for him to learn the language before he come to USA. So whenever he's here, it's much easier for me to help him out, like for him to teach class or running a gym by himself, because he's already speaking the language. Yeah. So he's just starting like being able to communicate with people, which it's beautiful. He's like, it's so awesome because he talks to me like, I remember like when I got here 3 months ago, I couldn't say anything. People would talk to me. I would feel so lost, but now I can actually I can say something, like that's good.
That's how I feel coming to Miami.
Yeah.
I don't understand anybody.
I grew up in Miami, so I got it.
My Spanish is really bad, but I can understand, but I do sometimes I'm just like,
if it's too quick.
You're talking too fast.
I understand. I understand Portuguese, but you got to talk to me real slow.
Slow, right? Yeah.
But I understand it. Yeah.
Nice. In Spanish, I do understand. I'm kind of shy to speak in Spanish, but also like my vocabulary to speak is super like is small. So it's like when someone's talking Spanish, I can pick it up. I'm like, all right, I know what you're talking about. You might be talking about me. I know. I can read. I can see people like talking on like stories on Instagram or YouTube, some stuff. I'm watching Spanish, but I can't talk back. I don't know why.
Yeah.
It's like, I understand. But I also don't feel comfortable because there is a couple words that are like tricky, Spanish and Portuguese. So sometimes
there's a lot of words that are like that,
and a lot of times like different meanings. And sometimes you think that you're speaking Spanish, but it's a Portuguese word. I'm like, all right, I give up. I don't talk Spanish at all. I'm just talking.
The other day when I was at the gym, I learned "fala maluco," right, which is like, hey, talk to me, crazy, like whatever. But I don't know why my brain went straight to Spanish, and I said "fala marico." Like
that's funny.
And I didn't know that they also said that in Portuguese.
Oh, that same.
Yeah, but you'd be like Mexico, like you wouldn't do the R.
Okay.
But it's like I understand exactly what you're saying, because I'm like, if you speak to me slow, or like when they're doing the interviews at the UFC and they're speaking Portuguese, I'm at a level now where if they're not from like Rio, because they talk fast as shit.
Yep.
if they're not from there, if they're from anywhere like Manaus or like down south, like it's more country, so it's like they speak slower.
Yeah.
I get it. I don't have to listen to the translator.
Thank you to Feito IT and AV, specializing in commercial and residential automation, security cameras, CCTV, POS, and more. Check them out at feitoitav.com or call 305-428-2515 and let them know the dummy sent you. Thank you to Neutral Zone CBD, a combat family-owned company that supports athletes and the people who love them. Neutral Zone strives to deliver clean CBD products for sports recovery in gummies, lotions, balms, roll-ons, and more. After a competition, a hard rolling session, or a tough day on the job, Neutral Zone has a product designed to help you reduce inflammation, increase cell rejuvenation, and may even help with aging joints. Visit NeutralZoneCBD.com and get 25% off your order with code JJD. And follow them on Instagram too, at MyNeutralZone. Jiu-Jitsu's favorite monthly subscription box has now joined the Jiu-Jitsu Dummies podcast. The BJJ box is delivered to your door filled with premium jiu-jitsu and grappling apparel, equipment, supplements, supplies, snacks, and more. The crew at the BJJ box find the best in the world of jiu-jitsu and guarantee every box to be worth more than the cost. Each box includes 4 to 7 items you're going to love. Visit thebjjbox.com and use code JJD10 to get $10 off your very first box. And give them a follow on Instagram at thebjjbox. Special thank you to the crew over at Flow and Roll for all their support. Flow and Roll is renowned for their incredible no-gi rash guards, shorts, and leggings. Flow and Roll has quickly become the premier custom apparel provider for academies big and small throughout the United States. Reach out today to discuss your custom order and ask about their incredible pre-order program. You can send an email to flowandroll@gmail.com or visit their Instagram at flow_n_roll and shoot them a direct message. And yes, they can create an awesome custom gi for your academy as well. Visit flowandroll.com to check out their awesome designs, and while you're there, pick up a Jiu-Jitsu Dummy signature tee exclusively at flowandroll.com. And remember, you'll get 20% off your purchase of t-shirts, rash guards, or gis with code JJD.
So, you're talking about your family. My daughter works, I own a marketing company. My daughter works for the company now. And I'm having that feeling too of, I'm so happy to now be doing this, to pass this on to her, to help her, run this business. I tell her, this is yours. When I'm done, you have it, you continue to run it. It's such a good feeling when you get to do that. She was a teacher, she made money, she was fine. But the fact that she's like coming into the family business, it's a good feeling. She didn't know what she wanted to do. I had an opening for her, and she took it, and now we're running with it. So I appreciate that feeling of being able to not help your family, but to help provide for them. And that, and she's 30, so now she's gonna, she's getting married, and it's providing for her family. So it's an awesome feeling to have, man.
Yeah.
So let's talk about the ADCC and your run here. Tell us how that all came about and getting invited to compete. Just tell us about that part of the journey, because I think that's where, right, a lot more people know about you because of the last ADCC. So
yeah.
So tell us how you got there.
So ADCC, I think I punched my ticket the day that I submit Mikey okay. Musume.
Yeah.
Everybody saw it, and then right after I beat Cole, and then that day I lost to Cade, but after that I did a great run in a lot of no-gi tournaments, and I think that was a very good start, and I was improving a lot in no-gi, right? And then competing gave me a good rhythm, and then the eyes was on me, and then I believe I was before getting invited, I was one of the best 145, 155 fighting in no-gi, right? Maybe I was not a specialist because I never focused full time on no-gi. A lot of people are focused full time either in gi, traditional way. A lot of Brazilians are focused 100% in the gi, and then a lot of people focus 100% on grappling. I was never this type of person. I was training both ways. Gi season, put the gi on. No gi season, take the gi off. And then go there and then show a good work and then work hard and make a way through. And then as soon as they announced the trials, I'm like, yeah, I have to go to Brazil to win the trials because I'm pretty sure I'm capable of it. But the thing is, I had right now, green card is processing, so I'm under a process. And then if I leave the country, it means that like I gave up on the case.
Yeah.
Right. I cannot leave the country at all. It's been like a year and a half or so. And I'm like, well, sounds like I can't leave the country. I can't do the trials. I was actually very, very upset about it. And then eventually, as soon as the trial was over, I got the invitation, which I was very happy. I was like, wow, that's crazy. Come like being a traditional gi fighter my whole life, and then now being able to do the biggest grappling tournament in the world.
Yeah, that's the biggest one for sure.
I'm like, yeah, I'm definitely like one of the best in the world. Now it's time to work hard to make a great performance, and then the result, of course, you always want to have a gold medal, but if it didn't happen the first time, but I made my way to the finals. So I proved a lot of people was wrong. A lot of people wasn't counting on me. A lot of people was sleeping on it. But I just did my job. I worked hard for the 3 prior months of ATC. I worked super hard. I'm pretty sure that like I never worked as hard as I did for ATC for any other tournament.
Yeah, I was gonna say you're undoubtedly part of the new wave of jiu-jitsu.
I did
and this ADCC really showed it, because this ADCC, you weren't the only young competitor to have a deep run or a medal.
Yep.
There was a lot, and it really just showed. It was almost like a changing of the guard, I think, this ADCC.
Yeah.
And you were part of it.
And then I did a great run. There was 3 months that like I trained super intense. I went up to New York to train with DJ Torres, 2 times ATC champion. And then for sure they had a lot on my knowledge as far as being able to train under the rules, get ready for that type of rule set that I was not used to it. My whole life I also fought IBJJF. So heel hooks was never allowed. My wrestling was like, it was all right. I could take some people down, but like I didn't know what I was doing. So like going through a camp, Coach John, he was working with us. He's the head coach, wrestling head coach at Essential. He's the one who takes care of the camp, JT Torres camp. So it's like, undoubtedly, that was the best experience of my life. And I will never regret going up there and training with them. As far as like training, and also I did a great, like we built up a great relationship with Professor JT, John, and all these students. People like, I felt at home training with them, you know, like everybody on the same intention, everybody helping each other to get ready to ATC. I shared the match with John Davis as well, was training for ATC out there.
She knows how to wrestle.
She knows how to wrestle, you know, judo, very good. So it's like, I wasn't a great, in the right environment to get ready for the ATC. I decided to go up I decided to go up there because I was like, I never done any ATC all my life. How I'm going to get ready for a tournament that like, I have no experience. Nobody around me have experience to how to get ready. I know that you need to work hard, but sometimes you're working hard and wrong. You're probably going to end up getting injured. So it's like, you should be doing the right thing, right? And then they just have like, right, getting there and then focus 100% on training. I was training once or twice a day, depending on the schedule. And then weekends was off. I was just following the plan, the diet. I didn't do no mistakes on my diet. Usually I do a couple of mistakes here and there, but
a little cheat.
Like you have this opportunity once in a lifetime, so you do not blow it. Go out there.
I cheat on my diet every day, just a little bit, but every day.
My diet is cheating.
Yeah. If I don't cheat, that was a good diet day.
Yeah. After ATC, I cheat a lot on my diet.
What's your cheat food?
Say it again.
What's your cheat food?
Bro, I love
let's go. Let's go down this road.
Pastries.
Pastries
for sure. Chocolate. I have a friend. He came from Tunogi Worlds. He probably brought me like 30 Milka bars, the chocolate Milka.
Okay.
I destroyed it in 2 months.
You ate 30 chocolate bars in 2 months?
Yeah, bro.
That's crazy.
That's a lot of chocolate.
Half a chocolate bar a day.
I'm a sweet tooth guy. I'm like sweet. I don't have to eat steak. I don't have to eat fried foods. Like that's not my thing.
Yeah.
It's sweets and then like pizza and bagels. Like that a happy man. Just give me some candy and pizza and I'm good.
It's way more like chocolate, pastries, but I also love a lot of meat. Like our Brazilians eat a lot of meat.
You guys have more cows than we do.
Meat is good though.
So we eat
and it's cheap.
Great.
And it's super cheap.
I think from I gained like 20 pounds for ACC.
Yeah.
For ADC or after? What do you say?
After ACC.
After. Okay.
Yes.
Oh,
Because actually my natural body weight is usually like 15 pounds heavier than 145.
Yeah, you see those arms? Those arms are made of beef. Look at that.
I'm always
Homie's
like,
built.
There you go.
There you go, man.
Nice.
Clip that. Get that
Nice.
picture, bro.
Yeah, I did.
Don't
It's
forget
there.
You remember 26, Bo?
Bro,
So you
I
remember
didn't,
He's talking to our
didn't
producer off camera.
I didn't have arms quite like that. I had good arms, but not like that.
I think 26 through 28 was my favorite
dude,
age.
Homie's got really good
I,
arms.
I got to Florida at 25, so like 25 to 35. I say 25 to 36. That was my time. After that, the body started to break down, and I couldn't party like I did. Yeah. So, good. Let me go back to. I had a question about. You talked about the transition from gi to no gi. What were the hardest parts of that transition for you?
I think mainly the heel hooks. That was the hardest part for me. Also, adjusting my weight to pass the guard is totally different. Gi and no gi for me, just because of my game. My game is pressure and it put pace on it, and then no gi is like it's better because it's harder for someone to make grips on you, but also it's harder to establish positions when you're trying to pass people guard and everybody's sweaty, and it's easier to shrink up in recovery, especially when you fight with flexible people. So I think the hardest part for me was leg locks for sure, the hardest part. And then I really started studying leg locks. I got heel hook in Out City by Damian Anderson. 2000, that was like a year and a half ago or something. All the way up there, I was like, nah, nobody gonna catch me on heel hooks. I'm good. It's good. It was so crazy that as soon as he get it, I was so scared that anybody got heel hook. I was confident, but at the same time, I was scared because I didn't want to get injured. So I damn, I wasn't even. It was deep, but he didn't even crank it. The good thing is I didn't get injured, but the bad thing was I just stepped right away.
You learned a lesson.
Yes, that was the key for me. That was a great lesson for me. Right. I think I had to lose that tournament to make me to work harder as far as leg lock. Yeah. If you see my couple last match that I did an OGI, I fought very good leg lockers. They wasn't able to attack my heels, foot lock, anything. Yeah. Because I got in a point that all right, I need to work on this. My guard press is good. Some submissions are good. My guard is all right, but the leg lock need to be great. Especially I know that it's going to be hard for you to see me with my back on the floor because I feel way more comfortable going for wrestling right now or passing guard. So end up on my back, I'm not uncomfortable end up on my back, but I'm way better on my feet, on my knees, passing guard. Yeah. So that's where you're going to be. And then the percentage of someone pull up a leg lock from playing guard is much higher. So I'm all right, I need to invest more time, stud more, and drill more out of how to escape the leg locks first, and then how not to get there. Leg entanglements, and then that was a whole process that I have to go through. Maybe I'm not the best guy who escaped leg locks, but I got a good amount of knowledge, be able to protect myself and be able to go out there and not be super scared, focus 100% oh, you're gonna get my knee or something like that. Yeah. So it's that was a great a lot of people don't know how to deal with when they lose, right? They lose a tournament, they just get upset and that's it. When I lose a tournament, I probably missed something or I did something wrong. So I go out there, I stud, I sit down and think a little bit, what did I do wrong and where I can do better? And the leg lock, the Emerald City was my mistake. Not my mistake, but my weakness. And then, boom.
There you go, and you patched it up. And then I think in the last couple of years, jiu-jitsu swinging the other way now, where there's a lot of systems that counter poorly entered leg locks. So if people are lazy on ashi, there's a lot of back takes from there. If they're lazy on 50-50, there's a lot of guard passing from there. You know, and there's even arm bars now and omoplatas from shitty leg entries.
Yep.
So I think it's just a natural cycle of jiu-jitsu. I think it's happening again.
Do you think that the leg locks are a fad?
Not a fad. It's
just, but it's the thing right now. there's not much left in the body that wasn't paid attention to.
Right.
You know, is it something that like they'll be? What's the thing that comes after leg locks or like leg locks?
So leg
are here to stay?
locks are
like you
old.
just said the counters. You were talking about the counters,
So
right?
leg locks are old, and I know you know that.
So
I know everybody knows that. Leg locks. No, what it is that leg locks used to be frowned upon. For the main reason was because you could hurt somebody, and back in the day that you couldn't get an MCL or an ACL the next day like you can right now. The technology wasn't there. And then you also didn't teach it because people are stupid, and then they're going to do stupid stuff. And then it was like, okay, now we're going to introduce it after the whole John Danaher Death Squad. Not saying he invented it, but he definitely made it popular.
I think he perfected it.
And it was a huge weakness because it was like, wait a minute, this is in the rule set. Like, we could do this, and we're purposely not doing it. Let's take advantage of it. It's a strategic move to win. Then that caused, it's like it caused ingenuity, which caused competition. And now I feel like jiu-jitsu is better as a whole because my kid's 8 years old. And he knows
attention to the whole body now.
Yeah. My kid's 8 years old, and he's like, "How did he win?" And I could say to my 8-year-old, "Heel hook." He's like, "Oh, dope." Like my kid knows what
that is.
Yeah, my kid knows what leg entries are. My kid knows what a foot lock is versus what a heel hook is.
Are you teaching students at your school leg locks and heel hooks very early? Not just age wise, but belt wise. Are they learning right from the beginning?
Yeah, because like for me, I think like if you're learning earlier, it's first for me like the way I understand is like the way it works, right? The mechanics, how you do this, how to finish. So I think if you're a white belt, not a brand new white belt, of course, but a white belt, you've been like training for a year, 8 months, a year, and then you're gonna be in an open mat. And then probably people are gonna try to attack your heel. If you know the very basics escapes, you might be able to free. If you maybe it's too deep, I already tell them like just tap. Do a white belt, don't try to go too crazy, but try to learn it since as soon as you can. Because like I just learned when I was a black belt. If you learn now as a white belt, whenever you get a black belt, you have very good attacks and escapes. So you're gonna be comfortable. It's not gonna be a thing that's gonna bother you. Yep. So it's like I try to tell them not to focus on it because they're not allowed to do it. But I tell them like you should learn how to escape. You should learn how to protect yourself.
So you really didn't really start much in the way of leg locks and leg entanglements till you were at black belt?
For me, yes.
Yeah, right. You were mostly a gi player.
Always.
And then it just wasn't like, I guess, the traditions as well. It's like
and grew up in the social athletics.
I mean, here,
which is like the YMCA.
Most schools before Danaher was like, you're not even going to learn. You're not even addressing legs till brown belt, if that.
Exactly.
If that, right? So that's crazy, man. How satisfying was it to not only avoid Mikey Musumeci's leg locks, but then to like you were an underdog in that fight, yes? That you were considered the underdog, yes?
Yeah.
Right. How satisfying was that win? I know you always have that scream at the end of a win. How satisfying was that?
It was like, it's crazy because like, especially when people doubt you a lot, it's like it's just like
sweeter.
Amazing.
It's a sweeter victory, right?
Yeah, I show them that like it's not the way you guys think. I can also fight. I'm very good like everybody else. Like everybody else is good, but if I catch you in one of my moves, if you're not a good day, I believe that everybody has a good day. Like the day that you wake up and like that's it. I'm gonna beat whoever's in front of me. Doesn't matter. He might be strong, whatever. I'm gonna beat you. That was that day. It's crazy because he was thinking about that. There was the bracket. I never thought about that would go first with Mikey. For some reason, I never thought. And then that was like right after Damian made me tap, like 3 months after. So I was like, maybe they're gonna put us in first because it has, I wouldn't say some beef over there, but like they just fought, so it's gonna be good because I really want to fight him back. Like he tell me like, I want to go after
Who doesn't want to get it back, right? Yeah.
Right. And then I was like, it's gonna be. And then the first person of the bracket was him and someone else. I'm like, wait a minute, it doesn't make sense. I have no clue who I'm fighting now because there was 8 athletes, and then I think on the other side, on the top of the other side, there was me and Mikey, and then that was crazy. That was like one of the best days of my life as an athlete.
Yeah. Just
that was good. Not because I beat him itself, but the tournament at all. You know, it was like, there was a great run.
That was your day.
That was my day. Yeah, my weekend.
Yeah.
That was close, but that was a good weekend, though.
my just from my hobbyist perspective, I love the North South. So that's my coach gets mad at me when I use the North South because I use it so much. He's like, "Come on, Milton, dude, let's try something else."
One trick pony.
Yeah, but I'm going with the whole, you know, do it 10,000 times and then you'll perfect it, right? You know.
Hey, man.
So that's absolutely my go-to, and then, you know, transitions into other submissions from that. But I love the North South choke.
Nice.
In my very first tournament as a white belt, I laid on a guy's face. We wound up in North South, and I was just laying on his face, and he submitted aggressively. He was like, ah! We were both white belts. He didn't. My stomach was over his face. He was suffocating.
Yeah.
And somebody called it a North South, so I went home and I was like, Googled. I'm like, okay, this is a good position.
What is that?
What's a North South? I didn't even know that I was doing a North. Like what? You know, I just happened to be laying on his face. I looked it up. I started to find videos, and Marcelo Garcia came up, and then I've just watched every single video that I purchased one instructional in my life.
Nice.
And it's Marcelo Garcia's North South instructional. That's the only one from BJJ Fanatics. Only one. And I've watched it over and over. And I still, like, every once in a while I'll be like, man, what's going, like, and I'll look it up and somebody has an instructional. It always goes back to Marcelo Garcia. Favorite move ever. So I love to see that. What's your go-to? What was typically your go-to move? Was it a North South or was it something else?
To be honest, with that match, our focus was run to the side and take his back.
Okay.
Because usually when you get on someone's side like that, they usually turn. But like, I think he tried to turn facing me. And I'm like, I'm going to just enjoy and get north-south. And it's crazy because that was very like, it's just crazy to say, but like a month that was training that. So it's like one day I got in with Diego, right? Diego Romario. I'm like, bro, I'm getting side control north-south a lot. But I'm not being able to make nobody tap. Like, I don't know. I need to pull out something that people can't realize. So a lot of the moves I was doing, everybody on training was already catching that. Like, I know where you're going for. I'm going to just avoid. And then like, come here. Have you seen this north-south choke? I'm like, nope. I'm like, go for it. Marcelo Garcia's does something like that. I know Isaac Baez does as well. So I'm like, all right, show me. And then he showed me. I'm like, sounds great. So I started training at the academy pretty much every day, trying to make people tap. And then he got better. As soon as I passed the guard, I'm like, the idea was like, I was ready to, the mindset was take his back and choke him out. But like, it just felt natural to pass the guard and knock out and then fight his leg and attack the neck. And then when I was attacking his neck, he was like gargling. And I was like, oh, deep. Yeah. that was pretty good.
The one thing that I realized about, I've been doing it since I was a white belt now. I'm a 3-stripe brown belt. I still do it every chance I get, especially when the coach isn't watching. The one thing I realize, and when I tell other people, like usually if I get something on somebody a lot, I start to try to tell them like how to defend it because it's not as fun. I want him to know how to defend it, so I have to work harder.
You're not playing on God mode?
Yes. What's that?
You're not playing on God mode?
Yeah, I don't want to. It's no fun for me to just submit you with the same thing, but I want you to learn, and then it's helpful, and I like to help instruct. Even though I'm not an instructor, I definitely love to give tips. But what I realized early on, I was never taught any defense. It's always defending the mount, and then mount like lower body, how they're going to pass my guard. There was I've never to this day like received instruction on how to stop somebody that's going north-south. Yeah. Not from like a guard position or like maybe even from side control. I love it from knee on belly. They start to, you make them wince, they take their head off the ground and then you can grab it. I've never received instruction. So I always, when I tell people that like, how do you always getting that? I'm like, to this day, no one's told me how to defend. Like, no one's expecting you to go north-south. Everybody's expecting you're in the side control, knee on belly, past the guard, right? So I learned early on that I was like, oh wow, nobody's defending this. Well, if nobody's defending it,
it's it's an open hole.
Yeah, it's just like this freaking window.
You're right.
It's like
now that I think about it, it's like I don't think I've ever been taught.
Who's taught you?
Who's teaching you like, hey, you are in north-south. What are you doing? Because the only defense I know is like what that Detroit Dust guy does. Just bite him. Just bite him. And
I do. You know what's weird is not weird. I mean, you did it. It was an incredible north-south choke. But usually with guys that like to go inverted, they'll throw their legs over the top and try to take your back. You know, you got to get super low. You can't be on their chest. You know, I got to get my face on the side like an Alex. We have a young kid. He's like 19, super flexible, very athletic.
Also
I won't do it on him. I won't do it on him because he throws his legs over. He gets his hooks into my, under like my arms, and he's taking my back, or like around under my waist, and he's taking my back. I'm like, what the? How did I get here?
Nobody had done that to me. Nobody had tried to take my back, but they tried to do kind of Ezekiel. When I'm north-south, they try to do Ezekiel. Yeah. So, like, the way they try it, and sometimes it kind of get tight, so I need to release it free and then go again. Yeah. But, like, they try to take my back for some reason.
Yeah, like, invert guys that like to invert or are super flexible, I've always got to – you got to get low. You got to get low quick. As soon as you have it in, you got to be off to the side. Head is here, like chest as close to the ground as possible so there's no space for them to get it. But yeah, again, my favorite move. I love to see it when I see somebody hit it. I think I've only seen it like a handful of times, if that, in the UFC. Like you don't really. It's not like this super popular move. I'm always wondering why people don't go to the north south more. A lot of guys will go like they call it north south, but they're going for Kimuras and they're going for
they go north south, but they expect you to like turn to a side.
Yeah, I'm talking the choke though. I love that choke, and I think it's underused. And I definitely, like I say, to this day, I tell people. When they ask me, like, how do you hit that all the time? I said, when was the last time somebody taught you how to defend somebody going to the top?
Yeah.
Not really. And, you got to, get out of it quick.
I got my defense.
There's defenses once you're in it, pushing up on the neck and getting in here. But then there's some counter. We have one of our original co-hosts, Junior, he used to just get under my neck. He would just get under my neck and push it, or use his knuckles and push up. He would get me off, but then there's a nice little transition. If he's hugging me here, then you could just transition to the side and then pick up on the elbow. Yeah. Throw your leg over his leg. You're both laying the same way, looking up, and you're pulling up on the arm. Yeah. Pull up on the elbow. That's I don't know what it's called, but that's my where I go next. If kind
of a Kimura sideways, kind of a Kimura, right?
Yeah, right. So he's on the bottom. He's hugging me. He's got his arm. If he's got his arm under me here. Yeah. I'm just holding now. If I'm in the north south and I've got that arm, I know I can go all the way down and finish. But if it's here and he's hugging me here, and I can get his arm,
you got it in a shotgun grip. You have it in a shotgun grip.
I try not to do it. You can't do it fast in training because you could hurt him.
Yeah. But if you put his leg, right?
You throw your leg over them. Either one. It's great if you can get over both legs. If you can get over one leg, and then you're just lifting up.
Isn't that like a slot machine almost?
Is that what they call it?
Well, whenever you like Kimura somebody in a weird position like this, they'll call it like a slot machine.
Yeah, I mean you're basically going.
You're pulling on the handle.
Bottom and you're pulling.
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah,
that's my favorite. That's where I go next if somebody.
I've been there before.
If somebody gets me out or they're sticking their fingers in my neck. I did it in a competition. Somebody caught me in a north south, and that was the only defense. I was just like, I'm getting choked, and I just gave him this, and he was just like, what's happening? He let it go. I rolled to turtle, and he guillotined me.
Yeah.
Freaking big football playing motherfucker, man. I was just like, this guy was half my age, and he looked like a freaking linebacker. But anyway,
there's some hard defeats
out there. My favorite position, thank you for using it. My favorite submission.
It's definitely underutilized,
I
think.
Let's talk a little bit about, you said something before, about the age range. Like, this is your prime.
Yeah.
Right? This is your prime, I would say, right? Mid to, like, some people say, oh, he's a young kid, he's 18. No, like, when strength and intelligence come together with that training, that's like 26, like to maybe 35, like this, or 25 to 35, right? This is that time. So, like, this is just the beginning for you, right?
I think he's at the beginning of his prime, not even in his prime. Yeah.
That's what I think.
You've got, I think you have these 10 years from F25 where you forget about the business side of jiu-jitsu, but just like the intelligence around jiu-jitsu, understanding position. You're a black belt. You've been training long enough, but it all starts to come together. Like, sometimes things just click. This is when the training, the knowledge,
Well, I see it as a jiu-jitsu fan. You know, I see it as a jiu-jitsu. I have my opinions of you as if I have my opinions of like other high-level competitors at any sport that I decide to watch. And it's like, you're also very lucky that you're coming in, like I said, in a new wave. You're not a 26-year-old you when like, let's say Marcelo Garcia was also 30, or like and like end of their prime but still super prime, like 33, or like Lovato, or I know I'm mentioning people that are not in your weight class, but anyways, like those style of people. Yeah. You know, it's like this is I think the most popular, in my opinion, that jiu-jitsu's ever been. There's people who are taking it seriously, because even back in the day, the really, really good guys still partied a lot, I think. Yeah. And
because you could do this and you weren't making tons of money, right?
No, there weren't a lot of schools, so they were making tons of money because there was nobody sharing the knowledge. It was the whole crayonche days, dude. Like, you could just.
But I don't think they're not making money like they are now. No, the companies, the sponsors, the ability to open a gym. Everybody knows what jiu-jitsu is.
You could do your own business.
Jiu-jitsu is a vocabulary word almost. It's like, you know, you say mental jiu-jitsu. Yeah. Or, right, people use the word jiu-jitsu knowing like it's this grappling crazy thing. Like, don't try your mental jiu-jitsu on me, right? Like trying to tie them up, right? So, like, people know what jiu-jitsu is. Oh, that thing in the UFC. My wife will say, you know, they lay, you know, she explains it. They wrestle on top of each other. They're two guys laying on the floor. I'm like, babe, thank you. You know, come on. But let's kind of talk about that prime. How hard is it, not just for you, but for other competitors, to really kind of put their ego aside and go and train with like a JT Torres? You know, like you said, like, you know, you're killing it out there on the match, you're killing it in competition, and then you say, all right, I'm going to go train under this other person. A lot of people wouldn't do that. They would say, no, I'm going to, you know, you kind of want to train against those people. How hard was it to like swallow your pride and start like seeking out instruction as a black belt from other people that have been there before?
To be honest, for me, it was super easy because I'm very friendly with everybody. I don't fight nobody. I don't throw anything on internet. I'm super calm person, super nice person. And I try to be nice to everybody. And then I think, like, for me, as much connection, as much knowledge I can get from different people is better for me. You know what I mean? And then as far as, like, I look if they have anybody in my weight class to compete from the essential. So I'm like, I don't think it would be great for me to ask them to go train with them while they have another athlete. I think it would be inconvenient on my part to go out there and maybe someone else can. But, like, I got there, I look it up, and then I think there was nobody from Essential in the ADCC. So there I messaged Professor JT. And then as soon as he said, like, yes, so I was like, hell yeah, I'm definitely going. I see you guys in a little bit. And then, like, for me, it was easy because back in the days when I was blue belt, I cross-trained with, like, my close friends, not everywhere, but my close friends. We used to train on the weekends, you know, just us. So it's like, learning from different people was always like, I think that I taught myself that, like, you need to be open. Even maybe like you have something to teach me, it might not be useful for me, but I'm gonna listen what you have to tell me. If I'm gonna digest, if it's good, I wanna keep it. If not, I'm gonna just push it away. So it's like, I think that's the best way for you to improve in jiu-jitsu as well. Like, you're getting views from jiu-jitsu from different people, right? JT, I think he's 32 years old. He is 2 times ADCC champion. He fought many IBJJF worlds. He fought many IBJJF gi and no gi worlds. Many different tournaments. So much experience in the jiu-jitsu world and the grappling. You know, so it's like, yeah, it would be a great opportunity for myself to talk to a person like that, to share the day, to see how the routine is. You know, like how much they have built up. If it was hard, if it was easy. It's never easy for anybody. But like, having them to share the experience with you, like in person, is totally different. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, I think that was one of the lifetime opportunities that I had. And then right now, I don't do that too often. I'm not in New York up there training with him because I have to run my gym as well. And then right after ATC, I injured my knee, so I had to take like 3 months off to heal like 100%. So I got back in training in January, and then slowly finding my way up, dropping a lot of weight. I was way too heavy. Like I said, I gained like 20, 25 pounds after ATC. So now I'm getting back at it. I'm definitely planning to go back out there and then train with him, because it was like a great experience. And then I would definitely like share this thought with anybody, like put your ego on the side, put anything that you think that's going to be bad. You're just going to earn, like just going to be great for you. Go out there, have a great time, try to get as much knowledge as you can from different aspects as well, not just jiu-jitsu, business, the way he thinks, the way he eats, the way he prepares himself. Like it's always very like it's a unique opportunity, like you're a very fan of Gordon Ryan, go out there. I mean, if you can, if you have the opportunity, of course. It's not everybody. I think it's not everybody who has access to everybody, but like, I want to go train at artists to see how do they do it. Take 2 weeks and go out there, like give yourself the opportunity to learn from different people as well. I think it's the same. It's way better than a seminar for me. Going out there and spending a month is like a whole month. It's not like 2 hours. I'm going out there. It's 2 hours. He's gonna teach one thing. No, it's like I'm picking up brain, a mindset, and then jiu-jitsu, the way he runs his gym. So like he's doing a beautiful work out there. And then I also visit different people in different states, different countries as well. So like every time that I go to different gyms in different countries, and then I see a person doing something different that I don't know what he's doing, I'm like, can we talk a little bit? It's like, what are you doing? You need to understand what you're doing. Like, you need to show me this. And then the person, of course, everybody's very humble into the jiu-jitsu world, They're like, as long as you're friendly to everybody, they're not going to, no, I'm not going to show you. No, they're going to be there. They're going to be teaching you, and then we're going to share experience. Because I believe that I also have a lot to offer. So they're going to be like, hey, could you show me this as well? I'm like, yeah, of course. So it's going to be like, we always exchange information, and then I can expand my knowledge. I'm building up friendship, and they're also like making great connections.
That's what we call a win-win.
So my next question is, who was your toughest match leading up to ADCC? Up to the actual show, who was your toughest match?
Oh, not on the ATC, but before?
Yeah, like on the lead up, who would, let's even say for the year before, who was your toughest match?
Oh, the year before. That's a good question. I think, let me see.
Win or lose, too. Win or lose, just because maybe, there's a loss in there somewhere.
Sometimes you win,
that wasn't the toughest one. Like you said, like with the heel hook you tapped early, like that wouldn't necessarily be your toughest match, but who would you say out there kind of, had your number and you had a tough go in a match?
That is few people, to be honest, that they give me a hard time when we fight. But definitely Diego Pato.
Yeah.
We always go out there and kill each other. So it's like, and for him, it's very like, I never know what's coming. Sometimes he throw triangles, armbars, his heel hook game, leg lock is very good. And he's very, very, very flexible. It's just crazy. It's just annoying to fight him. Yeah. So like, and then I beat him on the ATC. So like for me, it was a great, like the ATC run was like the best thing that could happen. I was like, please, just make it happen in the semifinal so he can fight and can beat you. And then definitely beat him. So that was great, because he beat me 3 times, different match previous that. So it's like Diego Pato was like tough match. Also Cole Abate.
That kid's ridiculous.
He's just so good. And then the first time I saw someone doing false ripping on me, was him on a match. Imagine like someone pull up something that you never saw in your life.
Yeah.
And then you don't know which way you go.
Wasn't he a blue belt?
He was a blue belt, I think. Yes.
Yeah, because he got purple right after that.
Yeah.
And now he's
brown.
Then
I was like, he's really good, and I don't know what he's trying to do with my leg. And then eventually he pulled out the heel hook, and he did a deep heel hook. I think he did 2 or 3 false rippings on me, but I didn't know which way to go, what to do. And then like after that, I started like, all right, I need to learn what is false ripping. And I learned it, and I went on.
I was gonna say, I think he learned it from Craig Jones, if I remember correctly.
Probably.
Yeah.
I know he does very well what he's doing. So it's like he's definitely one of the upcoming stars, no doubt. He have achieved so much on a young age. He has a good mindset. He works hard, you know, the way that I see him, you know, and I would assume like Cole and definitely Diego Pato. We had a lot of worlds throughout our black belt career. Gi and no gi. Oh my God, that was crazy, but that was good. And then also there is another guy in the gi, Iago Jorge. He's from Cicero Costa. He used to be Diego Pato teammates. In the gi, we always had war. I think we fought 8 or 9 times, something like that. But if you come max, it's just like we going after each other. So like at the same time, it was very fun because you would open up to fight and then we would go after each other. But it would be hard because you don't know what's coming. It's just like I seem like the way he fights, the way I fight. So it's like it's super hard to know what's gonna come. You're gonna throw omoplatas, triangle, knee birth, toe hold. It's gonna come everything. So it's like it's hard to fight those kind of people, you know. When you find people that like do the same thing over and over and just bring ball, lapel guard, and they like stall a slow pace, I think it's easier for you to read what's coming. Yeah. But when you find a person that like coming after you back and super aggressive, you're just like, I just go out there, I'm gonna do my best, and I try to be as much precise as I can.
Yeah. You gotta find a way to turn the momentum around. Now you gotta be the one attacking.
Yep.
Those matches I'll tell you what though, those matches are fun to watch. So thank you.
Thank you.
We're gonna do at the end of every show, we do a little segment. We call it the drill down. We've got about 7 or 8 questions that we ask, variations of these questions to every guest. We like to get the different take.
Cool.
The drill down.
I messed it up for you because I said what it was.
Let's do it again.
Bo is our announcer for the drill down.
Yes,
so
really not your
question. You can dub that in and make it work.
I want to know what that really sounds like backwards.
Backwards, yeah.
So question number 1: what is your preference, gi or no gi now?
No gi.
No gi.
Grappling.
Yeah. No more gi. How often do you train in the gi now?
Barely train, to be honest.
Yeah.
I try to help my teammates, to be honest. I try to help my teammates to get ready for tournaments. But my focus right now, I'm decided to go 100% on grappling.
Okay.
I never focus 100% on anything in my life as far as gi and no gi. I'm doing no gi over gi.
Okay.
That's where the money's at.
So now,
the money also, like, it's more excited for me to fight. My weight class, most of the people do a lot of 50-50 stalling game. I know when you're in a level that like you can outwork everybody, you're gonna be able, but I'm not on that level in my weight class in the gi. So it's like, I think as far as like my result on the ADCC, I think I'm way closer to being one of the best 155 or 145 in the world, no gi, than I am the gi. So that's why I'm focused 100% on the grappling.
That's a wise choice.
Have you heard from, or do you have any desire to fight in like a one championship on these cards where it's this true mixed martial arts card where there's grappling in a cage? You know, have you thought about that? Is that something that's come up at all for you?
Yes, it's definitely one of my goals for this year, if I can get it. The hardest part for me is just because I can't leave the country right now, and the usually is in Asia. I know they're doing one May 6th or 5th in the USA, Colorado. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I definitely want to get out there. The matchmaker had contacted me, not for this tournament. They contacted me end of last year saying they want to watch me on one, and then I'm just waiting. I think when the right time is going to come. I don't want to rush, nothing. No skip, no steps. I think I will be ready whenever the opportunity comes. I'm going to be ready to display out there my jiu-jitsu.
Cool, man. Yeah.
Great performance. And then, of course, I want to be the best in what I do. And if I'm able, I want to fight and win the belt. And then, yeah.
Don't forget about us little guys. You got to come back on the show when you have that belt and come back on and do this again. So our second question is now preference, takedown or pull guard?
Takedown.
Takedown? Always?
It's funny because when I train in the academy, you're going to see me doing a lot of guard.
Yeah.
Like a lot.
Yeah.
Unless we're doing specific training of takedowns. But like, if not, I'm definitely going to put you guard, gi or no gi.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very
but
cool.
like, go out there, compete. It's just natural to go after people and try to take them down and pass the guard. I just feel way more comfortable. But that's why also like I focus on the academy to play guard, because I think it's not my weakness, but my guard game is not too strong as my past. So I try to get it even. It's kind of hard, but I'm getting there.
So now I like this one. This is one of my favorites because it's funny how you get these like really, opposite answers. But music in your academy during rolling, do you turn on the music or is it completely off? Is it quiet?
All the way up.
All the way up. And what's your go-to music? What are you playing?
Soca.
Definitely funk, Brazilian hip hop. Also, I like a lot of. I put Drake a lot in my academy.
Yeah,
Drake. Sometimes I also let my students choose it. Like, but when I don't like the music, I just change myself. Like, all right.
If they choose a bad song, do you take a stripe away?
Yeah. We go next round.
Give me that stripe.
Right, we go next round. Yeah. I'm gonna show you you're doing a bad job. You listen to bad music. But definitely, like, I feel also sometimes I forget that, like, I don't forget, but sometimes, like, I don't like to put English music. Some English music has, like, not very light, especially like raps and hip hops, So like if I put in Portuguese, anybody can come in my gym. Nobody gonna understand why you're Brazilian. So like I have 20 people on the mat, just one or two are gonna understand what's singing.
The curse, but they'll hear the curses, is what you mean?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So the beat is good, like the beat is good. The flow, you can flow. So it's like, it's better in Portuguese than English for me.
Yeah.
But like I listen to everything, to be honest.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, do you watch a lot of jiu-jitsu, not just like competition footage or studying footage, but do you just get to sit down and watch a WNO when you're not competing in it?
As a fan.
As a fan, or you somebody that, I got to tune in, I'm watching that this weekend. Is that you?
Yes.
Are you going to watch, do you watch the UFC?
No.
You don't? Wow. No. It's a big card this weekend. It's probably the most stacked card.
Really?
Yeah. John Jones is back.
Okay, the King is back. I'm gonna watch
that. There you go.
I'm just letting you know.
I grew up in Brazil with my friends. We used to watch every weekend that had UFC. We'd get together, get pizza, and watch the whole UFC.
Yeah,
but like after I didn't get bored about it, but I was like, I don't want to watch UFC, and I just stopped. It's been like years since I watched one UFC fight, unless it's like, all right, and he said who is fighting. I want to watch his match, see how he's doing. I'm watching it. Maybe Khabib was fighting. I watched Khabib last match. Khabib against Conor. Yes, I watched that match. So it's like very few matches I watch here and there, but I don't follow up the UFC. You know what I mean? It's just like, all right, I have nothing to do today. All right, let's watch
my
UFC.
coach, who used to be his coach, we met at the same. We trained together for a little while. My coach will only watch the UFC when it's like a Brazilian headliner.
Guy.
Like if it's not a Brazilian who's also like a grappler, who's a jiu-jitsu. Most Brazilians are jiu-jitsu guys, but unless there's a jiu-jitsu black belt, he's not even watching. But he'll watch those fights that it's a big name.
Every single UFC match that I've ever watched with friends, even like when we watched it over at your house, if anybody wins with anything that resembles anything that's jiu-jitsu, everybody that does jiu-jitsu is like, jiu-jitsu, bitch! Jiu-jitsu!
We're proud, loud and proud. So who's your favorite competitor? Who's your favorite jiu-jitsu competitor to watch?
Nowadays?
Just from a fan's perspective.
Yeah. New,
who do you
old, like? It doesn't matter. In the jiu-jitsu universe.
I used to watch a lot, let me see. Rodolfo Vieira, Bruno Malfacini, Leandro Law. I used to love all those guys fight, like very good OGs, like fighting forward. It was very technical, super fast, and then aggressive. Those three was like the best guys that I grew up like watching, right? And I also like Men's Brothers, just because
Men's Brothers,
yes, because they guard pass, they back takes, just so good.
Yeah, their style of jiu-jitsu is super fun to watch.
Yeah,
constant movement.
Slow, fast.
Yes.
Moving forward.
It's like, where'd he go? Like that kind of, call it the spider monkey.
A lot of upside down and back takes. So it's like, it's fun to watch. It's not a game. I don't do no berimbolo. I don't do back takes from the bar like berimbolo stuff. Yeah. But like, I enjoy watching because it's very precise. You need to be very good what you're doing. It's like, it's very tricky. People are like, it's easy. All right, go out there.
It's not easy.
You know what I mean? And then it's like, to see them doing what they did on the highest level, it's impressive.
What about against each other at IBJJF at the finals right before they got their black belt and they just went at it? They were both in the gi, brown belt, finals.
Men's Brothers?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know about that.
No, not the
the
Mendes
Rotolos.
brothers. I'm sorry, I'm thinking Rotolos.
Rotolos.
Okay,
I'm sorry, Mendes brothers were sick though.
I was just happy to see that they didn't do the whole what is it, Pat? What do they call that?
You're not, but you're not allowed to do that anymore.
Well, I mean, it was nice to see that they actually it looks like they rolled hard. Like
they did.
rolled to win.
Yeah,
It was just like bragging rights.
Bleeding, and the other one almost broke his brother arm. That's very fun.
That's
for sure.
Great. That's good jiu-jitsu, man. What is your last? This is second to last question. What is your ultimate goal in the world of jiu-jitsu? I like to say, what do you want your legacy to be?
It's a good question. I want my legacy to be like a great competitor, a nice person as well. It's like not just being a good competitor doesn't mean like it's gonna be a nice person, but I definitely want to be referred like a great person, an influence for the next generation as well. That especially where I come from, like not everybody knows my background, my life history, but like being able to inspire. I have so many like Brazilian kids text me every day like, "Oh my God, I'm so happy that you made it." And then I have about the same situation, my family are poor, jiu-jitsu is helping us out, so stuff like that. Like that's what I want my legacy to be like. One day I'm gonna be like this guy. Mm-hmm. He made it. Well, he came from a poor family, had no money, and then now he live in the USA. He's running multiple gyms, or he won a lot of titles, but the titles for itself is like doesn't really mean anything for me. It's like it's great to win a world title. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. It's awesome, but like impact people's life is way better for me, and they be recognized as a great person is even better. For my family, making people proud. So it's definitely what I want to do.
That's awesome. I like that answer.
Awesome.
So our very last question, even though you prefer no-gi now.
That's a very important question. Do you or do you not wash your jiu-jitsu belt?
Yeah.
Hit the green button.
It's like obvious, right? It's like
that was easy.
Yeah.
It's funny now that like when we ask that question, it's a little bit more. It used to be like, no, you're not supposed to wash your gi belt. Now it's a little bit more like, yeah, duh. We just went through a pandemic. Of course you wash it. Yeah. You're supposed to. That's disgusting.
He's sponsored by Neutral Zone.
Yeah.
I mean, you got to be clean.
Gotta keep it clean.
Let's do that. Let's give out some shout outs. Go ahead and this is your time. Shout out any sponsors, anybody you want to say hello to or thank you to. Go ahead.
All right. Thank you, everybody, for the support. Thank you, guys, for inviting me for the podcast.
Pleasure.
It's like sometimes I'm very like nervous about going to podcasts. Since English is not my first language, I try my best. I try to say as much as I can, but I hopefully was everything clear to everybody.
You did awesome, man. Yeah, man. Other than rifle and raffle, that was the only one that I had wrong. Yeah. That's the only thing I didn't understand.
And everybody who watches this does jiu-jitsu, so we've all had professors that sound just like you.
The heavier the accent, the better the episode does.
Yeah.
So.
That's good. So I definitely want to give a shout out to my new sponsor, Roll Forever. I just closed out with them on the team. Thank you guys for having me. Buteria also for the gi support, and also we've been together for the last 3 years. I would like to say thank you for Neutral Zone. Keep me clean, of course. Also send me some CBD stuff, like very good stuff. You guys don't.
We love it.
Right here, man. I don't know if you can see it.
We got it right here.
And make sure that you guys got yours.
Yeah, absolutely.
And let me see who else.
Anyone? Let's not forget your gym chat. Tell everybody where your gym is, the city, and.
All right, so my gym is located in Apex, North Carolina. We like 15, 20 minutes away from Raleigh. If you guys in there, send me a message, and then you're definitely more than welcome to come and visit us. And gonna be a good training, definitely hard, just like Brazil, porrada. And maybe hot, maybe depend of the day, depend of my mood. I'm definitely gonna turn on the heater so we can.
I love it.
It's gonna be fun.
We train in the AC down here in Florida.
It's always hot.
Oh, Florida? I mean, I don't blame you. Yeah. Florida, it's super hot.
We could be like babies about when the AC goes out at the gym and you walk in and it's super hot.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, come on, man. And the coach would be like Brazilian style today, baby. Yeah. This is how we do it in Brazil.
You gotta crack the doors open.
Yeah, man. So go ahead. So Apex, North Carolina, and the name of the gym is
ZR Team Apex.
ZR Team. All right. Any other sponsors you want to shout out? We did Neutral Zone, Roll Forever.
Wake Aussie's Coffee, the best coffee in Apex. The guys has been sponsoring me since ADCC. It's been a great ride. Thank you guys, everybody who watch and support. Love you guys.
All right, man.
Good,
like
man.
I said, don't hang up. But thank you very much for joining us.
Thank
I
you.
really appreciate you doing this. We'll put this out next week. So we recorded, but we're gonna put it out next week. We'll do some cool posts and things like that. Please share if you can, and we'll let the world know you're on the podcast, man. All right. All right, brother. Hang on, man. Thank you very much.
Thank you to Neutral Zone CBD, a combat family-owned company that supports athletes and the people who love them. Neutral Zone strives to deliver clean CBD products for sports recovery in gummies, lotions, balms, roll-ons, and more. After a competition, a hard rolling session, or a tough day on the job, Neutral Zone has a product designed to help you reduce inflammation, increase cell rejuvenation, and may even help with aging joints. Visit NeutralZoneCBD.com and get 25% off your order with code JJD. And follow them on Instagram too, at MyNeutralZone. Jiu-Jitsu's favorite monthly subscription box has now joined the Jiu-Jitsu Dummies podcast. The BJJ box is delivered to your door filled with premium jiu-jitsu and grappling apparel, equipment, supplements, supplies, snacks, and more. The crew at the BJJ box find the best in the world of jiu-jitsu and guarantee every box to be worth more than the cost. Each box includes 4 to 7 items you're going to love. Visit thebjjbox.com and use code JJD10 to get $10 off your very first box. And give them a follow on Instagram at thebjjbox. Special thank you to the crew over at Flow and Roll for all their support. Flow and Roll is renowned for their incredible no-gi rash guards, shorts, and leggings. Flow and Roll has quickly become the premier custom apparel provider for academies big and small throughout the United States. Reach out today to discuss your custom order and ask about their incredible pre-order program. You can send an email to flowandroll@gmail.com or visit their Instagram at flow_n_roll and shoot them a direct message. And yes, they can create an awesome custom gi for your academy as well. Visit flowandroll.com to check out their awesome designs, and while you're there, pick up a Jiu-Jitsu Dummy signature tee exclusively at flowandroll.com. And remember, you'll get 20% off your purchase of t-shirts, rash guards, or gis with code JJD.
All right, man. That was awesome, right? Pretty cool.
Yes. Yeah, it was really cool. What are you talking about? That was an amazing story.
Yeah, man.
That was like
He's very cool.
that was
kind of like
I
it's
felt
like almost like
I
a nice rags to riches story, man.
I felt like I
you know,
watched
and it's still going. So we're only in the middle of that book. Not
Yeah.
even. We're in the beginning of that book.
Yeah,
You said it. You said it's like
he's at the beginning of his
at
prime.
the beginning of his prime.
Yeah.
It's like,
He's
yeah.
going to have more story to tell.
I was a
really,
Slumdog
years.
Millionaire story.
I'm really
Over
happy.
the next 10 years, he'll have a lot more story to tell.
I'm very happy that we had him on.
Very motivated guy, too, man.
We were watching him for a little bit, and it was just like, yeah, this is
Isn't it
someone that
funny
we're-
how we've had a couple of guests who've had these interesting stories of either coming to the U.S. or doing, getting into jiu-jitsu, and then some magical person appears in their life and help them out.
Yeah.
Didn't Richard Bressler have somebody like that, I think?
Yeah,
he did. He did. And
Horion Gracie.
Yeah, and
The whole he was selling a mattress. He came into his life. He was fucking around with
and
drugs.
Somebody else we had on had a similar story. They had like a guardian, not a guardian angel, but like a helping. angel.
We're in this world, so obviously we hear these stories the most. But there's Bo may not know this as much as we do. Like all the hashtags, like Jiu-Jitsu saved my life, right?
Yeah.
Jiu-Jitsu for life. It really does. I mean, there's a lot of
it's the environment, man.
There are a lot of people who you're able to turn away from something because this fills a gap. It's kind of like somebody who's addicted to drugs, but they start smoking, or they can't stop smoking. They need that one, and I think the jiu-jitsu becomes that addiction, but the healthiest of addictions. Mm-hmm. And people are able to. I talked to you before. I was saying I had such a bad day yesterday. I just wanted to go to jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
I needed to get that out. I was tired. I was worn out. My shoulders are killing me, and I was just like, that's the thing that's going to make me feel better. And I felt way better. My shoulders still hurt, but I felt way better getting out the stress of the day. We talk about it all the time. I always mention my wife hated jiu-jitsu in the beginning, but now she's like, you should go to jiu-jitsu. You should go. Make sure you go. I'd be like, oh, I'm so tired. She's like, go. And she goes to her she's like, "Go do it."
You'll feel better. Even
and she's
even if you're tired.
She's encouraging because she knows that helps me.
For sure.
That's awesome.
It's therapy.
But again, thank you, Gabriel, for doing the Gabriel.
It's the same.
I feel weird saying Gabriel. It's,
Why?
Gabriel.
Just say
Why?
Gabriel.
It's his name.
Well, I don't know, because like Gabriel is a little bit is more feminine when you in the U.S.
No.
I've got my daughter's got a sister named Gabriella.
The U.S., man.
Anyway,
It's Gabriel.
Gabriel Sousa, thank you for
America.
doing this. We really appreciate it. Thank you for joining us. I thought that was amazing.
Yep.
Check us out on Instagram at Jiu-Jitsu Dummies, on TikTok at Jiu-Jitsu Dummies Podcast.
One day you'll get that right.
Yeah, no. Did I get it right? Did I get it right?
You
nailed it.
fumbled it like a football.
The shit ain't. It's not as easy as I make this look, Bo.
It really isn't.
Right.
And I'm not as dumb as I look.
Yeah. The thing, like I have certain things written down, and then there's certain things I don't have written down. So I'm getting to doing like the TikToks all the time because TikTok has grown for us. So
I'm not as dumb
at
as I
Jiu-Jitsu
actually am.
Dummies Podcast on TikTok
And YouTube.
My IG is he's a fucking interrupting.
And YouTube.
At Uncle Milty BJJ is my personal IG if you want to hit me up.
Oh, it's JJD_DJJ69.
Bo?
At BADWERKS.
You know what's funny? I was just a side note. When I a lot of times I tag you, invite you to collaborate on a post, especially if I think it's something funny, all right? And you weren't coming up. Like if I type in JJD,
I got shadow banned.
And I was just like, did he get shadow
What'd
banned?
I do?
I don't like.
Was it all the meat stuff?
I usually don't see that.
It's all. I'm like gun ho for meat. Like I don't post anything political. It's jiu-jitsu and eat
I
meat.
had to totally type out the name before it auto populates.
No
and,
way.
Yeah. So I knew that you'd love that.
Baby.
Yeah.
The Illuminati got you for meat comments.
Miguel got shadow banned with what? Your 800 followers?
Don't beat your meat. Just eat the meat.
They don't want you eating meat, bro.
All right, guys. I appreciate you guys. Thank you for doing this. Thank you for everyone out there listening. Peace, love, jiu-jitsu. Right?
That's all it is, man.
Oos.
You're still
That's
stuck
the old
on
one.
it.
I like it.
We're going to have to bring that back.
All right.